CJ, it was 10 years ago that Leicester won the Premier League, and now they're on the brink of dropping into League One.
Miles, it's ridiculous. 10 years ago they won the Premier League and now they're flirting with potentially playing in the third tier of English football. It's mad. Life comes at you fast.
We need to look at what's going wrong, but first let's look at that championship table. I mean, look at where Leicester are, 21st place.
It's absolutely crazy, Miles. 21st place, Leicester. And when you actually look at this league table from 13th to 23rd, it's all to play for at the bottom with 15 games left.
They are only out of the drop zone by goal difference, which is just crazy. You just don't expect to see Leicester City there. It was only 10 years ago that Leicester City won the Premier League. We're talking about the likes of Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante, players who weren't very much known to the Premier League, Jamie Vardy as well, and they went on to just do amazing things that season.
What Leicester did galvanised the whole footballing universe. We all love an underdog story. But as you said there, Miles, 10 years removed on, to see where they are now, they couldn't have predicted it, let alone myself.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of that will probably have to do with mismanagement of finances. They've been deducted points. So how has that impacted where they are today?
Miles, it's a weird one because I would quickly say as a fan, if you saw that information that came out in the week, you're probably relieved. There was rumours around 10 and 20 points. It's come out that they've been deducted 6. Now, obviously, if you're asking me as an armchair expert how Leicester ended up in that situation, Miles, it's been years of mismanagement. As we said, they've won stuff. They've been in the Champions League and various European competitions. I just think they kept thinking the good times were going to be there and they never had a contingency plan. They've simply had a Premier League squad in terms of wages in the Championship, and that's not sustainable, and years of mismanagement has come back to bite Leicester.
They have attempted to move along some of their highest earning players, and in 2024 when they won the Championship, their wage bill was incredibly high, where the average in the Championship is 29 million. So it just goes to show that their finances are all over the place. But we have to look at on the pitch, don't we?
I mean, Miles, it's bleak for Leicester City at this moment in time. 1 point in 5 games, 2 red cards in as many games, 21st in the Championship, above the drop zone on goal difference. It doesn't look good. 3 clean sheets all season.
If I'm a Leicester City fan, I'm not liking anything you've just said right now.
Neither do I, and I don't support them.
Me and you are enemies right now. But look, we do need to take a look at where it's gone wrong, so should we do that?
Individually and collectively, Leicester City have been making some silly mistakes. I mean, look at Pereira here. Simple ball, just deal with it. He's had his pocket picked, and I don't think that lad will score an easier goal this season. Granted, mistakes happen, but these things are happening far too frequently for Leicester City. Look at his body position. It's all wrong. It's a lapse in concentration. He wants 100 years to make a pass. The attacker doesn't quite agree with him, and he's pulled it through into an empty net. And I feel sorry for Leicester in that regard. Decision making from experienced players is horrible. What is Bobby Reid doing there? These are some of the most experienced players in this Leicester City side, and they've all been capped by their country. Horrible tackle. He's left his teammates in the lurch, and he's made it an uphill struggle for Leicester City by getting himself stupidly sent off.
Yeah, and I think this is just the worst of them all. Okoli, what are you doing? You haven't helped anyone in this position, and you've just made things worse for your team against the Charlton side that are in and around the same kind of position as you are.
And you have to look at the structure. There can't be a coincidence as to why this has happened 2 weeks in a row, sort of thing. There's a lack of discipline. And this simple ball against Charlton put into the box. Now, it's a good ball, don't get me wrong. Not a single Leicester player is looking over their shoulder, and it's a question of desire. The Charlton lad wanted it way more than the Leicester City player. Football's decided in both boxes. I know Leicester score a lot of goals, but if you can't keep them out the back of your net, and if you can't defend amicably as a team, you're not going to have a long sell-by date in the Championship, Miles.
A team wanting it more is just, again, unforgivable. And again, we see here against Oxford,
horrible.
Just a lapse of concentration from everyone in the defence.
Look at the first and second balls. You've got Page, who will learn a young lesson, a big lesson as a young player. But the first ball, again, this is your bread and butter. It's a simple long throw. They've won the first and they've put it in at the second touch. Now, granted, I do cut Leicester a bit of slack on this occasion because they are chasing the game. But again, nobody's looking over their shoulders. How is it 2v1? How is someone able, from an Oxford City perspective, able to bear down on your own goal, starting their run from their own half? It's shambolic. You see better defending in an under-8s league with little kids. They need to sort something out as soon as possible. Unfortunately, in football, it's always the manager's fault, and he's the one that has to pay. Now, I do feel sorry for the manager. He took the job on relatively short notice following Ruud van Nistelrooy sacking. His stock was high at QPR. I mean, if I was a Leicester fan, I would have been enticed by his kind of promise or wanting to deliver fearless kind of football. Now, there's a thin line between being fearless and potentially being naive. As we've kind of been looking at, football's decided in both ends, and earlier we spoke about them defensively. Goals conceded. Only Sheffield Wednesday have conceded more than them. They're 12th where it comes to goals scored in the Championship table. So they're underperforming at both ends of the table, Mars.
Yeah, and when you mention about a fearless brand of football, Marty Cifuentes himself said that maybe there were players who didn't even want to be there. So
Wow.
I don't understand how you can play a fearless brand of football with maybe a squad that are checked out.
Exactly, that could be mentally checked out. I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but simply put, clearly they're divided and not everyone's pulling in the same direction. And it's one of those where if you as a Leicester fan, you would love to be a fly on the wall at training or in the offices. And it just sums up the mess that Leicester City are in, and they need to sort it out quickly. This is what makes their running exciting.
Well, we need a new manager for Leicester City, and these are the bookies' favourite, CJ, and I want you to tell me which one you'd go for.
Miles, it's one where I'm so happy I'm not a decision maker at Leicester City, because I think it's one that presents a lot of pros and cons. Do you go for Russell Martin, who, if I was a Leicester fan without context, just the way he plays football, I would look to go to that? Is that someone that's going to keep you in the division? Gary Rowett's been linked with the role. Is he going to keep you out of the relegation race after being in one off his own back? There's a couple of other rogue choices. Do you even keep the current caretaker gaffer in Andy King? I'm not too sure who I'd go for, and I'm happy I'm not a decision maker. The one thing I would say is clearly they need to defend better and get more clean sheets. They need to start scoring more goals. They need to get more points on the board. And you know what, Miles, it's quite annoying with them, because you look at Leicester, they've got an average squad age of 26. They've got so much potential on paper, but the potential has to correlate to in person. They've got great players, they've got your boy Fatawu, they've got Monga, they've brought in a couple of loanees from Chelsea and City in January. On paper, they've got a lot more that can give to this. Bobby Reid as well, international footballers. Miles, I genuinely believe Leicester shouldn't be in this situation.
And having a vested interest in players like Jordan Ayew, being from Ghana, I know that he's going to lead out my country at a World Cup. So these are the kind of players that you've got in your squad. So whoever the manager is, Leicester really need to make the perfect choice. And I think if they do or they don't, it's going to be a fantastic end to the season, whatever happens.